but they're gonna start do the same picks and bans if I am correct.
Alright. So I'm in the planning phase right now. I'm not sure how far along we've gotten into this, if they've already restarted.
Well, I'll inspect it as well. Well, at least we'll be able to see picks and bans once again, and hopefully we'll be able to start from the beginning of the game.
The only plan is Hades this game. Banning out
I don't know about
Scotty.
that.
Hades is the plan, okay? That's their victory condition. They've been scrimming this whole time for this. Only Hades. So, Audio, Scotty, pretty typical bands.
I had to refresh because my smite decided to be weird. So
There'll be a little bit
refreshing real
of
quick.
improv on the pick bands because of all the issues and reset between the issues.
No, I was able to cast before, right after the second banning phase. They did their second bans, and I don't think they picked after that. That's how
Oh, and
much I was able
Zito's in
to
here now.
cast. Hey, Zito.
Oh, what's
Wanna
going on,
join
guys?
us? Landon beat you here, apparently.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Get out of here, Zito. You need to be making some chip brands for advertising for us.
Dude, we need
Zito's.
to talk to Doritos about that. Like, just get them to sponsor us, man. We talk about them enough. We might as well get paid for it, you know?
What's your signature
Oh my
flavor?
god, I want some Doritos.
Cool Ranch, man. Always.
So we're gonna just take Cool Ranch and name it Zito's.
Zito's Fantastic Ranch Chips.
Too long.
It's gonna sponsor
Yeah,
the,
I feel like it's catchy.
yeah. Have it sponsor the in-game player interviews.
That's right.
So I'm gonna wait until everybody has their picks in to actually go over the teams. I really want to see. I don't know if it's actually a repick ban. They might have already went through a lot of the pick ban on stream. I'm not sure how far Hector got
did.
through. Okay.
Hector actually wasn't able to cast any of it. I had to solo cast all of the picks and bans. Thankfully, it was still on the cast, though. It didn't cut off from cast until the same time it cut for me, which was nice. That would be right after the second banning phase. So as soon as they're done with their banning or their second banning phase, that's when no one else knows what happened.
So it is Happy Spread'em versus
OMG Omega.
OMG Omega. Which I'm surprised not to see Omega on that team, since I know he's in the group, or Ox Omega. But I guess, I don't know.
That's why I was confused with the name too, but I don't know. Go with how it is.
So OMG Happy Spread'em versus Omega. On the blue side,
Yes, OMG Omega is on the blue side, whereas Happy Spread'em is on the red side.
I only got to catch a couple of minutes of the other game because I was busy, but it looked like there was a really strong Scylla performance coming out of Happy Spread'em the game before. And they didn't ban it, so it might get picked up again.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He went 12-0-5 last game, just barely missing a godlike, but he was a very staple in that game, hitting every single one of his ults, his sickums, and his crushes. It was very devastating.
Ooh, but hovering over Aphrodite right now as the mid lane. Also, the Happy Spread'em picked up the Izanami, who did actually more damage than the Scylla last game, but they do decide to go to Scylla. Both of them put out tons and tons of damage for their team. But it was a little bit more Scylla shining, because it's the instant burst damage over the damage over time. And also the kills spreadsheet going 12-0 is ridiculous.
It is very good. At one point, I'm pretty sure Scylla got a triple kill. I think it was at a Gold Fury fight or something. But I think I do remember that.
So, it looks like the final team for Omega is going to be Sobek, Kokolin, Owilix, Hades, and Chiron. There's a pretty good amount of CC and team fight on that team, while on the opposite side, it looks like it's the double warriors for Happy Spread'em, which is one of these are gonna go jungler. Not sure who their jungler is. I assume Erlang Shin would be the jungler.
It is. Pre-gen is their jungler, and Grismark is their solo sub.
All right. So I'm learning these teams a little bit as we go, guys. They pick up the Ganesh pick, which is always strong. Izanami recently getting the buff to her dash time, which looks like it's gonna see some more play out of her now. Scylla, not the top pick for mids, but she's never a bad pick. She's pretty safe, and her late game is devastating. But if you can get through the early game, her crush is pretty much an ultimate almost.
Yeah, definitely true. It hits almost the same like towards late game, and I feel if Scylla in the mid lane is never out of meta or necessarily in meta. I feel like Scylla is more of a comfort pick. If you can play her and play her well, you pick her. If you don't, you can't. It's just how it goes.
A lot of Scylla mains. I see everybody named Scylla. There's Scylla mid lane. There's people named after Scylla skins. There's just diamond Scyllas everywhere. When they do play her, they just fall in love with the character for some reason.
I mean, I personally have a diamond Scylla.
Ooh, I can spectate the match now. I was never too big on Scylla. Like, I liked her when she got released, but then I played her in the solo lane because I was a noob then. Nobody knew where to play her then. The first time she actually got played in a competitive environment, it was solo lane, because that's when everybody played mages in solo. Which was fun times, but...
Oh, back in the good old days.
I don't know how we didn't deal with it back then. Like, Raw hasn't really changed really dramatically over the years, but he used to be just the best solo laner. Now if you pick Raw, you just get instant killed.
Yeah, it's just because of how the soul lane and Smite in general has evolved over the years. The meta changes every season, and from the last season, when you find a new season and you see the new meta, you think it's like just like the last season. But Smite in general is always evolving throughout the season. The beginning of the season, the mid of the season is always different from the end of the season. It's just how Smite does. They're always having patch notes to change things, and the meta will always be changing. It will never be the same, which I think is nice. It helps make sure that there's not a stagnate of gameplay. You'll always be able to do something different throughout the time that you're playing this game.
So I'm already in game. Let me get a little bit. I was changing the names a little bit so I could clearer define for the audience who is who, since they are both OMG.
Also, for the red team, have been expressed to say that the team name is OMG Happy Spread'em. They don't want to have it be confused with just OMG Happy. They want to make sure that Spread'em is in the name.
Put Spread'em in there, okay.
Apparently
I
it's
just
very
put Happy.
Important. Yeah, I saw that. That's why I was making comment on that, because if it's not Spread'em, and I don't want to get yelled at. So.
What if I flipped it
pause
around
my game at
by one letter, spread me?
Yeah. Well, Happy is doing the spreading for other people. He's spreading himself for shout out to Ghost. Yeah, Ghost very adamantly will say that Happy spreads for him. We gotta keep that in nature, how everything else is going.
So stream, don't hate me if I'm not catching everything. I have not done this in a little bit.
Oh, Twitch stream's gonna get you good.
They're gonna goof me, man. I'm not ready.
They're gonna get you good. Gotta
See,
get ready.
If we miss anything, blame Hector. He should have been doing this. Go to him. Say, what's wrong with you not paying your power bill?
Alright, let me know when you're at 50 seconds paused.
Oh, I'm at. Game starts in 40.
Okay, I'll go back to 40 then, and we'll pause and then start.
Alright. So, looking at the item choices so far, Scylla decided to go to the Book of Thoth Tier 2. That's more for early clear. She's gonna not be really fighting as much, but more or less worrying about getting a little bit of farm until she hits the Book of Thoth. The supports both go the standard support start with Lono's Mask and starter item. Let's see, the carry on Happy Spread'em decided to go to the Boomba's mass start, while
I'm ready.
Chiron started Boomba's with the, not the Death Toll, but the Bluestone. I started.
Oh, okay. You gotta tell me, like, count down. You can't just be like, I started.
You're gonna be, I don't know, what time are you at?
I'm at 26, 25, 24.
Okay, we should be about the same time.
Alright, that's good. I have a good enough reflex when you said I started, I'm like, ah, shit.
So it looks like OMG Omega is gonna kind of push up and get a ward down between that path on the blue side, trying to spot out what kind of start they're going to do. And they're also going to start the jungler and the solo side, while both teams actually do start, I believe, their mids in the
Mids
or
with
in their
support.
mids with the support in the mid lane. It'll probably go in the favor of Scylla and Ganesh early on because
Finish.
the Book of Thoth is going to be there. Hades really doesn't necessarily have a good level 1. He just kind of threes. That's about it. And Sobek as well. Not the greatest level 1.
I mean, Hades can full clear the wave at level 1 if he got tier 2 bench buffs, which he did not. So this time he will not be getting that extra buff for wave clear. And looking at these comps alone, I'm not talking about skill or momentum. Which comp do you think will prevail as Hades takes a big chunk of damage early?
I honestly kind of like the comp better for Spread'em because it's just kind of a little bit weird to have a Hades with a Willix and Sobek because they can knock out of the thing. And we missed the solo fight early on, actually.
And yeah, speaking of that, speaking of you saying that Spread'em has the advantage, well, they just got first blood with the Erlong and the Chalk, taking out the Awelix Cucullin, which in stat standards would seem that Awelix Cucullin would have more pressure. But Spread'em showing that they in fact have pressure.
Also, Demon's getting some invades off, but he only really gets the smalls on both camps. Wow. Omega just really wasn't looking for it at all. But Chiron is going to confirm his own red buff.
That is good for both the Chiron and Izanami. Yeah, Chiron able to secure his own buff to make sure
Chalk
he's
is
red,
hitting
but
low
Izanami
over here,
hitting
though.
those little ones.
And the shell does go down. The shell for both teams. Chalk is really low. Oh, and he goes down.
And he falls down.
Nice pickup for Omega to get back in there on that lane, not just give it up.
It's really nice to know that they're able to keep the pressure going. They don't want to just be a pussy now because they got first blood. They want to still put down this pressure.
Yeah. Sobek's kind of bullying out the Ganesh in mid too. Get him a little low. And Omega does hit the level 4 on the mid laner first. Finally gonna get to confirm their own
That is
jungle
actually
as well.
surprising.
Yeah.
Looks like the Hades was able to get a little bit more of the neutral camps first, as we see Ganesh getting poked down really low. Luckily for Spread'em, Ganesh was not picked there, but he did get fairly low there. He probably will have to back here unless he can heal from the Watcher's Gift.
Got in a little bit of a dangerous territory there because Hades always has the dive potential on you. Especially in the early game, he's just gonna hit the whole wave and you and just get this big burst heal and just walk off.
It is fairly annoying early game about just how much he does heal off of that, and just how much burst damage he does now with Hades, his 3 being clearly defined of where the burst of damage is going to be now. Hades is one of those hit or miss characters, as we missed a kill, a double
They pull up a double. It looks like he just hit rage mode and just went straight in and got both of them.
That's really good for the Cucullin, now hitting level 6.
He's already 3-0 too, so he's gonna get a big.
That's exactly what OMG Omega needed. They needed this pressure back in solo lane for getting first blooded. Now Cucullin is starting to get bigger, and the angrier he gets, the bigger he gets. So Spread'em has to make sure that they keep this Cucullin under lock. They can't let him free farm in free casts anymore. He is now starting to get fed.
Exactly. Like, this is going to be also really hard for the mid lane, because normally once a solo lane starts getting big and ahead, it just drifts off into the mid lane. And Scylla's not one of those characters that necessarily does well when she's getting pressured early.
No, she's very susceptible to that, especially because she started the tier 2 Book of Thoth start, meaning is that she was only able to get 2 potions together, either 1 health and 1 mana, or 2 of each. I'm not 100% sure on which she decided to go, but in the end, it's very little sustained opportunity. So any poke on Scylla is very, very strong, though.
Also, the Awilix
But
can look to
because
pick.
Scylla was
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and luckily for Scylla, she didn't get pressured out early, so she was able to start that Book of Thoth as soon as she backed, which means that she'll be able to start doing a lot more damage than Hades.
One thing you gotta look out for as a Scylla too is that you can be pulled out by the Awilix out of your 3.
Some people don't even know that. Some Smite trivia for you there.
Because
And
it doesn't look like a jump, but it counts as a jump. Also, Hades can get pulled out of his.
they're counted as leaps, if I'm correct, and Wilix can pull anyone out of a leap as well, both underground and overground.
It looks like the double team's still
It's
going
coming
down
out
on the
to the
Cucullin.
left They want to make sure that Cucullin can just do whatever he wants. Wilix making sure that Cucullin is never alone in his lane. Doesn't want to get him. Doesn't want to have that 2v1 advantage to have Cucullin get picked.
So these
Good.
wards place actually looks kind of weird. There's 8 wards coming out of Happy, but 4 coming out of Omega. But all 4 wards are coming out of the Cucullin, so nobody else other than Cucullin has actually prioritized any kind of warding, which is honestly going to be really bad for the left side of the map in Gold Fury. I hope they can actually potentially figure it out that they haven't placed any wards, spread them, and get a free Gold Fury off that, because that's something you don't see very often when the whole left side of the map hasn't been warded at all.
Yeah,
Nice
I
poke
think
coming out
that's
of
how that worked is that I'm pretty sure Cucullin started off with Health Chalice, and then with this extra 200 gold, actually got 2 wards to start the game off, and then when he backed again, he got 2 more wards. And coming out, Sobek is able to clean up this Izanami over in left side. Hope maybe able to connect this Ganesh too, but Ganesh is able to just barely
Erlong Jin
go.
is there too.
Oh, Willick's so low, just barely able to get out.
Ooh.
So we're looking over.
He's trying to save his
Just
teammate,
misses
but
it, sadly.
almost
coming out
connects
from
on the
Scylla,
ult for
so
Scylla.
looks a little stuck here. Chalk made a rotation though, with Chalk being the solo laner. But sadly, Cucullin rotated as well, picked up the Scylla. Perhaps going to be able to pick up this Erlong too, but Sobek comes and steals it.
That was his kill.
That's
He had
a
to
three
confirm
for
that.
nothing.
He was worried about him getting away. Yeah, OMG Omega wins a big
that
team
was a
fight
3
there.
for nothing.
It was honestly a really big bait coming out of the Awilix. She barely survived and hang around the corners. And just they kept going at her trying for that pesky kill and just couldn't get her. And that's all she wrote for spread them. But they don't really get anything off of it. So it's not the end of the world, honestly. Only a 2k gold lead or so. And a lot of that's
barely a
on the
2k gold
Cucullin.
lead. OMG Spread'em is definitely not out of this game, guys. Keep in mind that really OMG Spread'em is just a ticking time bomb. As soon as Izanami and Scylla hit late game, they're going to be hitting like trucks. OMG Omega, while they have a strong early, that's their comp. Cucullin, Awilix, these even Hades, these picks are meant to get early pressure. Like they're all like Sobek as well. They're all meant for early pressure. Now, how they transition to late game is based off the player and how well they did during the game. But this is exactly what OMG wants. They want early pressure. As long as OMG Spread'em can nullify what OMG Omega has been doing to them in these early fights and be able to win these, they'll be able to come back late game.
Chiron getting a lot of poke down on the Izanami, but Ganesh is kind of making the rotation over. Had a little bit of warding there, so he saw that they were going to come. So really, I think that OMG there, when they did win that 3-man fight, I feel like they should have pressured around Gold Fury and tried to push that lead a little bit, because their comp is really relying on snowballing. Because Willix is a huge snowball, Sobek pulling people out of position snowballs his team. Chiron's not necessarily the best late game carry. Hades can turn up in the late game, but you have to look for the dream kind of jump in ult engagement. He can also die just as fast as he can get a kill, honestly. Woo.
Yeah, well, I understand. If you look on the left side, Chiron and Izanami are fighting, but Chiron's able to knock up Izanami and avoid a lot of the poke that she was giving here. And as I missed it on the right side, Erlong is able to take out Hades. Clean it up for the jungler.
You're a little bit ahead of me.
She spread him really needed this. Oh, am I?
Yeah.
What time are you at?
I'm at 9:50.
Oh, yeah, I just hit 10. 10:01 right now.
The fight does extend though, and Kakolan picks up the mid laner while Chalk comes in and almost gets a kill on the Ganesh. Oh no, that was his teammate, never mind. But Sobek does pick off the Ganesh. Wilkes is just baiting around the corner again, but does go down to the Erlang Shin.
Erlang Shin pin. All in all, a 2 for 2. Hades just respawning now, but it died earlier.
Sobek's actually a little bit out of position right now, but he got out with a dash. So what time are you at?
For how these kills are going, I'm now at 10:35. I'll pause right there.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I'm at 10:37.
I'm looking. All right. Oh, you're ahead of me?
Yeah. Now I am.
Well, I paused at 10:30. I just put 10. What time are you at?
10:37. I paused at 10:37.
Okay, I thought you were already there, and I'm gonna pause at 10:50 because I thought you were already there and that you kept going.
No. It's fine. It's fine. We're improving. We're improving.
10:50.
Hector ruined everything.
People. Yeah. So I paused at 10:50. Let me know when you're there, and then we can unpause.
I'm there.
But
I'm at 10:51.
just want to get this. Okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, unpause. And so there's Sobek. Just in general for OMG Omega, these kills, 3 of them going to Sobek. While the kill in general is good for OMG to secure, where they're going to is very one-sided. It's going to 2 tanks. Now, which makes them tankier in the long run if they need to start giving them to the carries, because these carries aren't that far behind from the enemy team, and if you just keep giving it to the tanks, it's almost as if it's wasted opportunity.
It can be, but you know, Sobek ult hit pretty hard. Early on at least. But yeah, they do need to get some kill priorities down onto some more damaging characters, because if they don't have the damage, then you know, the tankiness doesn't really matter. Because it's not like they're protecting anything that's doing a lot of damage. Ward's going still in the favor of Happy Spread'em. Really, Kakolan's the only one that's in between that line of red. But right now, just a slow game kind of going. A little bit of farm. Nothing too special happening. Gold Fury and Portal Demon are still up, while the Fire Giant still stands as well.
Sorry about that. Someone came to my door and brought me pizza. So I now have dinner with me.
It's the pizza break, man.
Having a pizza break over here. It looks like it's, as I open it up, oh, it's wonderful barbecue chicken and bacon pizza. Smells so delicious.
I want me some pizza right now. I was gonna go eat some sloppy joes, but Hector done ruined my night.
Man, that's really sad, man. You should yell at Hector. You should kick him off the team.
You think he'd want his power?
Get a new carry.
You know? Yeah, you think he'd just want to pay his power bill and play on the team?
You'd think he'd want your powers.
So Willie's kind of baiting around for Kakolan to come around, but Kakolan's just kind of clearing. But putting a decent amount of damage onto the Erlang Shin actually, and he gets an ult, but they're trying to kill him before his ult goes off. And he does get off the health, and the child kind of peels off for him, and that's the end of that skirmish. Almost a kill going down on the Erlang Shin, but luckily he gets the heal off.
Thankfully,
just in
the
time.
Erlang Shin, he was able to live.
Just barely. It was a close call though. Sobek coming in.
Oh,
Maybe gonna
Sobek
pull him
just
out of
barely
position.
missing.
Just barely doesn't get it. Erlong hits his man mode.
They're diving hard
And they
though.
do get the root on him. Yep, and he does get the kill. Pretty much all by himself too. The dive was a little bit helped by his team, but
Chalk is
they are gonna
really
go on the
stuck
chalk
here.
too.
He's probably gonna die.
Does pop.
Just finally being able to rotate. Pops his ult. And that's just still sadly gonna fall here to the Sobek's hands. But hopefully, maybe, perhaps, the Wilix will fall here too,
That's what
seeing
you
as she's
need.
tanking tower.
Yeah, and she feather stepped.
Just barely.
Oh, just gets out. This Willix has lived so many times when she wasn't supposed to. And they actually do get a tower, I believe, in mid off that. While they may trade the tier
one tower
1
in
on the
mid
left,
falls.
but it might not go down.
Oh,
It
but
looks like
she's
it
getting
will.
ganked. She's getting ganked really hard. We have Hades and Sobek going around, trying to find this
If he
Izanami.
could get a blue
Chiron's
stone
able
pendant
to
on her.
find her.
Yeah, she can't really stay invisible, but she does
Oh
get
no,
over that
she's
wall.
stuck.
Yeah, they did find her. She's trying to get away, but the Hades doesn't notice where she is for a second. But now he does see her.
Her beads and her sanctuary used at
Beads.
the same time. If Hades ults here, she's screwed. Chiron hitting a couple more basics, but Scylla coming around from the top is able to save him. Uses her ult, but unable to connect, sadly. Chiron getting really low.
He has to get
Hades
out there
diving
himself.
in. Erlong able to use his ult, though, to dissuade.
I really think the Hades should have just went for the ult kill. I'm not sure if he had it up, but
And Erlong is able to pick up Hades.
he dove in a little too far after she had done got away. Sometimes you do want to use your ult just to confirm a kill when they're out of position. You know her escape's pretty much down. And there's really nothing she could have done from that. She just popped both actives at the same time, so I don't know. I would have went for just the solo kill right there, the solo ult kill.
Thankfully,
his
though,
ult wasn't
for
up.
Happy Spread'em, they were able to pick up the Hades because he overextended in that fight, and that gives OMG Spread'em a little bit more wiggle room to try to get themselves back into this game.
So pressuring out the chalk on his blue buff a little bit, tries to steal it, but he doesn't quite get it. Though Kakolin actually does take a decent amount of damage from the Scylla now. Hasn't really built any magical defense. That might be a downfall for him later in the game.
He needs to build it right away next because this team fights
Hades
are
ult down
starting
in
now,
mid.
and Scylla's gonna melt.
Hades found the Izanami in mid lane, but kind of just dashes out after taking a little bit of damage, but she's likely just going to have to back here. But that does open an opportunity for the Chiron to get tower on left. And Happy Spread'em does make the rotation over there, but it is a little too late. While Sobek does come in. Ooh, and Chiron is hitting pretty hard.
Chunking is Izanami. Oh, the
She
snipes
is
are
low.
connecting.
Nice. Oh snap! I
If
can
you
move
look
this out
at
a little
wards
bit.
real quickly, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at wards real quickly, the one thing Happy Spread'em has done correctly is ward across the map. OMG Omega actually having one of their players not even place one ward yet. Willix has not thought
She's
that
too
it was
good for
important
that.
enough to build yet. She's too good for that, and as she's too good for that, blue team being OMG Omega is able to pick up the gold theory.
I feel like there was a miscommunication here at some point because yes, Omega go for the team fight, but Chiron just said, "Screw it, I'm taking back Harpies, boy." So he went on the way to take back Harpies at full health, but the fight does go in their favor anyway. So
Free go
good
down
on
to
them.
OMG Omega. No, I'm sorry. A fight goes down and OMG Happy lose 3 members. OMG Omega getting the better end here.
This
Looks
is the
like
point where
Hades
you
once
need to
again
be-
extended just a little bit.
goes in, gets out with his Aegis, but this is the point where OMG Happy Spread'em really needs to, play a little bit more cautiously. They're getting down a little bit now, behind more than they should. If they can just scale it out, this, the Scylla should be fine. The Izanami is pretty much a terror in the late game. Chuck, you're not gonna really kill him, and Ganesh can pretty much instantly melt people if he hits the right CC on top of his ult. But they just have to wait it out a little bit and not take these fights. Now that OMG Omega do
You need to
have
slow the
power
game down.
spikes. Yeah. This is the point where Hades is pretty strong, the Sobek's pretty strong, the Kakolin is really strong. They're all a little bit ahead right now. If you can wait this game out,
Oh,
though.
Happy
Ooh.
getting the double kill!
Oh my
with
goodness.
her ult. Happy showing why Scylla is his best god.
And this is one thing about Scylla as a character. She can completely turn the whole entire game with one ult.
Did you know that one Scylla ult can turn a game?
Yeah. And wow, he just jumps in there and dies. So it looks like they're going to get this tower. If I were them, I would try to snowball this into maybe a fire giant.
I would go straight for Fire Giant right here, and it looks like that may be just the call here. Sadly, they weren't able to be the ones
they're
to
gonna bait around
secure
the corner.
that
No.
portal demon.
It is
Sadly,
unfortunate, but
OMG
what kind of
spread 'em.
secure do they have on Omega? You know, you can bait them
None.
in and fight them there, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for it at all. Strange call. Like,
Yeah.
when you're down and you get a big fight like that, Fire Giant can be all that turnaround that you need. Like, it'll make up for the 4K gold being behind. But
I mean, I
they don't-
understand, but also on the fact of OMG Spread'em probably didn't go for it because the Fed Cucullin, the Soapback and the Elix were still
do
up.
find the
three
chalk
that
out.
work best together.
And they do catch the chalk
Sadly,
out, and Chiron confirms it with his ult. Staying around a little too long by himself. Members
you
backed
gotta be
off.
careful of your positioning.
Yeah. And it looks like he went for the fight a little bit too. He didn't have his escape up as chalk, and he probably tried to fight thinking there was only one around, but they got swarmed. So right now it's about a 4K, 4.5K gold lead for Omega, but it's no
Rip your
means
mic.
any way over.
A little bit robot-y there. Looks like everyone's robot for a little bit.
Team robots.
Looks like a Willix won the ward battle on Fire Giant.
Sometimes I wonder why they have minions killed as a stat. Top minion kills is Izanami right now, really carrying this game. That's the big difference maker. 3 minions up on his opposition. But
Okay, but I mean, obviously, we all know that the real decider of this game is time spent dead. Looks like both Erlong and Hades are sharing that
Detrimental.
title with 105 seconds.
not looking good for them.
It
They're
looks
losing the
finding
team their
the
game.
Scylla, though, in
Oh,
the
they
back.
are finding that Scylla, I mean, in the back. Chalk kind of dissuading the front line a little bit, but a blink does go down. Not sure who it is. They really need to get on this Hades. Ooh, Hades does get a bunch in his
double
ult,
kill.
and a big ult coming out of the Cucullin mixed with the Hades. Scylla tries to make some stuff happen, but not quite getting it.
And that's a
there's
deicide
that
on the
deicide.
side of OMG Omega. Only dropping
If
the
I were
Hades
Omega,
here.
I would try to, right now, get that tier 2 on right. They have enough time to come back for
They're going for fire.
But yeah, they are going to go
Doing
for fire.
right now. Looks like maybe, sadly though, that the Hades is not going to be able to receive this Fire Giant. But I don't think Omega really cares that much.
Yeah.
Everyone is so low though. They have to be very, very careful. Make sure they don't
They
get
should
killed
be
by
able
this.
to
But
get it.
luckily they're able to do the dance correctly.
So they end up getting the Fire Giant, which is a good safe call. I would have probably went with the greed and tried to get the tier 2 on right with the wave pushed up in the Fire Giant, but honestly, with the things on the line as it is, like, you really want to pull this win out. So sometimes you want to take the safe call because Scylla can still get those crazy dream ults, and he's displayed that he does have a competent Scylla for this tournament.
He definitely does have a confidence Scylla, and if they went for that tier 2, they would have lost their opportunity to take Fire Giant because it is still fairly early in the game, only being 20 minutes, the respawn timers. They finished that Fire Giant as the rest of OMG Spread'em were coming.
Yeah.
If they would have done tier 2 and then Fire Giant, OMG Happy Spread'em, please, they would have been able to steal it.
So it looks like everybody's on the left side. It looks like Gold Fury may be the next call. Yep, it is.
About half health.
Happy's
going on,
not gonna contest
1/4
this.
health. Yeah, no one is. They're gonna give it to him. Looks like Demon's gonna get caught out just a little bit here.
Gets away though.
He's gotta be very careful. His
Chalk's
dash
still
can
over on the
save him,
right
but he
side,
can't save
taking
him
his
from
blue
everything.
buff. So it looks like the siege is going to be super possible on the left side. Chalk's not on the right side of the mat right now for them to fight, so they're just going to have to back off. A free tower
even when
coming
you
for
lose the
Omega.
game, as long as you have your buff, you're fine.
Yeah, as long as you have the blue buff. If you have the mana to
And for
turn the
junglers,
fight.
the speed buff.
Yeah.
If I just get my blue buff, I'll be able to win this fight.
I have the power to fight. See?
I have the power.
So it looks like they're just gonna
Shoutouts
run and
to,
clean up
He-Man.
every tier 2 on the map. Going ahead and getting those
Safe
down,
call.
getting the extra gold. Yeah. Really though? Happy couldn't really contest it. They're just gonna wait to contest that Phoenix's and hope that they can get a big team fight and change it. Fire
That's
Giant
the
still
smart
has
player. They're Fire
a long
Giant.
time up too. I'm gonna go ahead and take
About,
Portal off the
about
map.
90 seconds.
I think they're just gonna
90
use this
seconds
to get
left for them.
back so they can spend all the gold that they just earned. Coming out of their base a little bit though on Happy Spread. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the speed buff and give it to the Erlang Shen, I believe. Maybe the Izanami.
So, looking at how this game is going, what do you think Happy's team has to do to get back in this game? What do you think is their game plan right now?
I think they really need to get wards a little bit in their own side of the jungle. Like, try to spot where the next opportunity that OMG is going to look at and defend at it until they're scaled up enough to actually do something. Like, Scylla really wants to hit some levels because she gets her power spike off finishing her level abilities. As well as Izanami is going to be able to outperform. They're just behind in levels, honestly. They want to try and farm up and defend. And kind of get a little bit later into the game, but it's going to be really hard because they are losing all the farm in the jungle.
Yeah, I do agree. They're very farm starved at the moment. The only little farm they're able to get is the ones falling in to the Phoenix as Kakolin blinks in, and so does Hades.
Both of them getting
And,
a lot of
Hades
damage.
ults everyone else at once.
But the Chalk, ooh, a lot of damage coming
Hades
down though.
takes that one.
And the Scylla does get the ult kill. She's looking over, trying to figure out her next target, but not quite getting it.
Looks like Hades
It looks
may
like a
be
good
the
fight,
next
though,
target
going
if
for
he gets
Happy
picked out a
Spread.
little bit. Oh, they get him. They're gonna keep going.
Oh, they
So
got
far,
the
this is a
Hades.
great fight
Yeah.
for
Good
Happy
defense.
and Spread 'em.
It looks like the Sobek will be the
That's
next one.
3 down.
And they lost that fight with Fire
Only the
Giant too.
Kakolin and a Wheelix surviving. Sadly,
Right
the
now-
raid boss is still alive.
Shout out to Blueprint. I told him I was going to cast, and he is still calling me. Like he does not know I am casting. If he is in there, I do not know what the hell he thinks he's doing. But, so it looks like this is going to be a big turning point for Happy Spread'em. They're going to go ahead and get a tier 2 tower down in mid. Willix is still kind of hooking around in the back, though. Looking to probably catch a straggler out. But she might run into death here if they're all combined. So at this point, Happy Spread'em really needs to honestly set up for this Fire Giant, get warding around it, and hopefully they can actually contest a fight there. Coming up soon. Running around. She is 2 levels above the Chalk, but his team is actually going to come and save him.
Man, she
Now she's on
was
the run of
way
time.
out of position.
Yep. That's the jungle mentality,
Well,
and now
What are you
OMG.
doing, girl? What are you doing, girl?
They're actually going to start up Fire Giant.
That's a
They
Fire
used-
Giant.
Yeah, they had the time to set up wards over there, but they didn't do anything, and yeah, now they're just gonna leave it for Omega to clean it up. And that's a free Fire Giant. Good job for Omega. They had the warding, it looks like, to see that there was no wards there, and I feel like it was a missed opportunity for Happy Spread'em to get some wards down, because Scylla can contest the Fire Giant pretty easily by herself, honestly. Just throw a 3 down and or in a safe position, and then throw a 2 in, and then get out of there.
Yeah, I think we were just a second ago saying how Wheelix, what are you doing? You're so out of position, and honestly, that was intentional. She was being the scapegoat, or not the scapegoat, but she's being the sacrificial offering to the gods of Smite to get a free Fire Giant. She was just a distraction.
Yeah, it was a tactical
And
feed. Sometimes you got a tactical
we got a
feed.
Zapman in the jungler over here.
Yeah. I'll
thought
die
it
for
would
a
happen.
Fire Giant for my team any day. I'm not 100% if that was the full plan, but it definitely did work. So it looks like Happy's gonna have to back up a little bit and play the defense game again. There is a pot though on the Scylla right now, looking to try and get some damage now compared to later. So delaying her items a little bit, but she does have a Ratatouille already, so just trying to get all the power she can now, which is what they need. They need power now. Because if they can't get through this, then the game's just not going to last. While OMG can lose a couple of fights and be fine. There's really not enough for them to take. They still have 3 towers up, but it's make or break right now for Happy. Spread them.
I definitely agree with you in that regard. So far, it looks like OMG Omega with the Fire Giants is gonna make another push into mid lane as Hades just gets melted along with Chiron. Looks like the Hades is gonna get picked first. Maybe they'll chase down Chiron. I don't know.
Chiron is low, but it looks like he might get out of here. Fight's still going on in the back. Willix does get picked. And these team fights are still going Happy Spreadum's way. It's just they don't have a good enough siege.
Raid boss
on
may
OMG.
be able to take him down here.
Yeah. Erlang is
Kill the
looking
raid
at
boss.
Capolan. It's a slap fight.
Oh, the blink!
Woo!
Oh, but I don't think that'll save him
Yeah,
now.
I don't
think that will save him, and he finally falls. Shut down.
And Chiron's actually they're
That
picking
was
the portal
a very
demon.
much needed kill.
So they will have
They're
to push
taking
mid
portal
lane.
demon. But split, but Spreadum is gonna take
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
They're saying go
Portal's
ahead,
fine,
take
yeah.
portal. We're gonna take a Phoenix, which is 10 times more important than portal at this
Yeah.
point. Demon taking out the Chiron too.
Ooh.
This is really good for Happy's
Yeah.
team. This is
Oh,
exactly
the Hades
what they
jumps
needed.
in by himself too. Now he's got nothing to protect him, and he only catches 1 in his ult. And then Aegis comes out too, so he's a little bit invulnerable now. It looks like he's going to get out though.
His Aegis
And-
is down, and now his ult's down. He went
Hap-
in, used all of his actives, and then ran away.
And now Happy has actually managed to do something that Omega has not, and that is get a Phoenix.
Happy is successfully winning these team fights. He's very, very good.
Ooh, and the Willix does pick off the Erlang Shin there. It looks like they have a little bit of trouble though getting out. This could be really bad for Happy, I believe. Because one thing that they have been doing really well is defending, but they have not been well at getting away from Omega once Omega do get the jump on them. Ooh, and Chalk is actually
Can
barely
Chalk
getting away.
survive?
I don't even
And
know
then
where
he
he
dies.
is.
That's
Yep.
too bad.
I could not find Chalk. So now it's a 5v3 situation, and honestly, this is where I'm looking as Omega to potentially dive here, because honestly, the 5v5s have not been in their favor and sieging. They have to figure
really
out a
haven't.
way to get this Phoenix down, which really they're only focused on
Mm-hmm.
this one Phoenix in mid lane. Maybe they should be focusing on a different one, like the left side, so they can secure more fire
Right.
giants.
I mean, right now they really want the mid because the enemy team is also taking down their own mid Phoenix. Doing this will negate the minions. I think that's their main goal right now. They feel as mid lane Phoenix is the strongest Phoenix, even though statistically, or not statistically, but like geometrically, that's incorrect. Erlang getting a 5-man taunt. Scylla hitting a 5-man crush, killing.
Oh
hitting
my
everyone.
goodness.
That was
Crazy.
devastating. Holy shit!
That is the highlight play right there.
Excuse my French. Holy Jesus Christ! Everyone on OMG Omega living with no health right now. Everyone's on yellow or worse.
As perfect as
Happy
that
spread,
ult
I'm going
was.
straight for the fire giant.
That's what they need to do. They really need this power spike. Scylla, if she has that fire giant, all 4 of these players would be dead right now. And this is going to be free for Happy. This is
That's
why you
free.
pick Scylla. You get players that
This
are
is
competent
why
at
you
playing
pick
them.
Scylla.
And if you get to that
That
late
was a
game, you
Very
destroy.
competent play. Erlang and Scylla, they just made the game-changing plays right there. He got a 5-man taunt into a 5-man Scylla ult. I'm pretty sure that is as perfect as a combo as you could have possibly gotten.
I'm sure it is.
OMG Happy
And
just
that
taking
shows
this
great
with stride.
communication. because that Erlang Shin had the trust in his teammate to follow him up that he would survive enough time for her to get that ult off. Great play coming out of Happy Spread'em. Fantastic.
That was amazing. Tip my hat to you. OMG spread them, showing that they may have gotten spread all game long, but they're about to spread the enemy team apart. OMG Omega have to be careful of that. They have been susceptible to all these late game team fights. They're losing every one of them. They win picks because that is their comp, but they can't win the 5v5, which is going
get the gold
to
Fury
lose
here,
the game.
For Omega, which
Gold
is not
is
that
almost
important right
nothing at
now.
the end.
Yeah, at this point it's nothing. They already have a gold lead.
Most
they just
people
can't
are
win
full
the
build.
fights. Yeah. So Scylla just finishes
Even
off
with
her
Fire Giant.
Polymonicon, so there's that extra blow up
Yeah, that
potential.
Polynomicon's gonna hurt. And
Chiron
even
is caught out of
looking at the
position.
Chiron,
He was by
That's
himself.
a
This is a
big
team
kill.
game. He does have a ward to catch them out, but they don't go over that path. It's a little too far away. It looks like the next focus is going to be on the left tier 2 tower. Getting that off the map to make sure that they get all the towers off and that the Titan, when it is up, is going to be as weak as possible. Or when it does go down. The Phoenix is up though.
I'm just still stuck in that moment. That was a beautiful play.
Where were you when
I
Zilla
just
hit
can't
the
even
5-man
do
ult?
it. Yeah, where were you? Yeah, exactly. Where were you? The more you know. Scylla sadly wasn't able
Big
to connect
fight,
her
yeah.
ult this time. Hades able to get everyone
Hades
his
gets
ult.
a few of them.
Demon
A
falls
lot of
first.
damage coming from both of them. A lot of fight going all around the place. I don't even know where to keep up with this one. But Willix is going to go take
Right now,
out the
looks like
Ganesh in
may
the
get
back.
picked off.
Yeah, but, oh, she actually runs into the wall while he pops a sprint.
Chalk gets pulled.
Hades is still
Chalk
somehow
able to
alive.
dodge out. Omega.
Oh, and Kakalin jumps up.
Only one kill.
Yeah, one kill out of this big team
It
fight.
looked like more than one person. Looked like
This
more
is
than
the
one
team
person was about
fight
to die there.
Of no fire, or no Phoenixes at least. Like, every Phoenix fight goes bad for the team sieging.
I just
So Portal Demon's gonna go down to OMG Omega after that failed portal, or not portal, failed Phoenix fight for Happy Spread'em, and really the only person that goes down is the Willix, but she was on the side kind of chasing off Ganesh. Oh wait, no, not the Willix. I'm sorry. Who is that? The AD carry Izanami.
that'd be Izanami who got picked. She's respawning now though. Thankfully for OMG Spread'em, they still have Fire Giant for a little bit more time now. If I'm correct, roughly around 40 to 50 seconds left on that Fire Giant. Minus the Demon, OMG, who is the Izanami. And looks like OMG Omega is once again trying.
What
to
time are
make
you at
Casino's
right now?
Phoenix. I'm at 36:45.
Hey, stop. Pause it for 2 seconds. I'm at 50.
1, 2. I paused at 360:51.
Okay, 3.
What do you
2.
have yours paused at?
I'm at 51.
Oh.
I'll count down. 3, 2, 1. And we're back live. It looks like they're gonna run it down mid again. Shout out to, let's see, what is his name? Love Disc Use Dive. He always likes running it down mid and killing himself. That's his go-to
That's
line.
his signature play.
He's like,
Oh, his
boys,
go-to
let's
line.
run it down mid. If you ever need somebody
kill
that's
ourselves
good
in
at
the
running down
process.
mid at your team, I recommend going to Love Disc Use Dive. George Matias on Facebook, hit him up. So it looks like this is, I don't even know what to expect at this point. The main goal for OMG Omega, I think, should be to take down the Scylla, or pretty
I
much
want to
try
see
to find
another
the back line.
5-man taunt.
And
I want to see another 5-man taunt.
Happy's big goal is to just make sure that nobody gets on their back line. Oh, and Kakolin blinks in, starts to
Colin blinks
engage,
in.
and Scylla does hit him a little bit, but it's not
So,
too bad.
ult
Chalk
connects.
gets a big ult,
Next
and
is
the
Colin.
Ganesh ult goes down. Colin has to get out of there.
We look
And it looks like this is going towards Happy Spread'em a little bit. But everybody's kind of getting out a little bit.
Hades ult.
I don't even know where to look at. Chog's low. Everybody's low in this fight.
Oh,
And
Chiron.
finally, Chiron does get the snipes.
Izanami. Looks
And
like
the Willix
a pull
does
got
get the
pulled
pull
in.
in.
Erlong got
It looks like
pulled.
it's going Omega's way.
Oh!
But what? Pentakill? Where did this come from?
Pentakill! Damn!
I do not know what to say. I didn't even see what happened. I thought it was going Omega's way.
Sick'em crush and got a pentakill.
Okay, boys. If Scylla is not banned against Happy Spread'em, then you are throwing your games.
Stop
Get
throwing
this Kara.
games, boys.
Why did y'all not ban this man, Scotty?
They
Get
can
rid of
end the
Scylla.
game.
Yes.
They can end the game here.
What it is going to be a really slow push, but there's long. Look at the spawn timers. They're all at 23. They died at the same exact time. 20, 19, 18, 17.
Fucking pentakill.
It was
my
instant
God.
death.
That's a free fire giant, at least.
Yeah,
At least a free
at
fire
least,
giant.
yeah. Oh, I don't even want to see this Scylla with a fire giant right now. That's death.
She's building another pet item too. Which item do you think she's building? I'm gonna think it's Obshard.
Yeah, I believe
What do
it's
you
going
think
to be an
it's
Ob Shard. Just to kill those tanks a little quicker. Honestly, they don't get the fire though. Like, they don't really have the fastest fire giant or objective take with these
They don't have
being dead.
Yeah.
Well, not
They
being
didn't have enough DPS.
I feel bad for this Izanami because she's quietly top damage, but Scylla's really making all the hype kills, hype plays. I'm sorry, Izanami, you're not getting any glory. You're doing the work you need to do, but it's just Scylla, man. Sometimes it happens that way. Oh, and I hear Scylla ult.
I don't know. It looks like they're fighting on Fire Giant.
No!
She,
Oh!
damn it!
No!
I didn't say damn it. I mean,
but she
luckily
got the kill.
OMG Omega was able. Yeah, she did get the kill. Looks like she was able
Oh,
to pick up this Hades
is gonna
perhaps
go down,
too.
Potentially. Oh, where are they running to,
But
boys?
the Blink saves him.
Oh!
They made
And the
them
Aegis
pick off
saves
this
him,
Chiron.
but yeah,
No,
he
yeah,
did.
Chiron's dead.
I think this
Chiron's
is about
dead.
to go
They're gonna try to end.
happy. Yeah, I believe this is gonna be end here.
Just end the game. Just end the game. Come on,
gonna
you
go
can just
siege
5-man
down
push. He doesn't have
The
anything.
right side. Yeah, they're just gonna get this for free.
Oh, they're gonna safe play. Yeah, and
Safe play, get
safe
it down.
play is to take this right Phoenix. Looks like they may look for left Phoenix unless they're gonna go straight for Titan. Finally, they listened to me. They went straight for Titan.
Hades tries to get
Don't
in there,
get
but he doesn't
wiped
really
here,
get
though, guys.
anything. Yeah. You gotta be a little
Titan
worried.
at half
Ganesh
health.
does catch
They're
him.
at 30%.
Just kill it.
20,
Chug.
19, and
There we
Happy
go.
Splitter wins!
In a 41-minute
Oh my
crazy slobber
God.
knocker of a game. This one was wild, boys.
Even in kills, and the gold was still in OMG Omega's favor. Omega could get picks. Omega could get structures. Could get objectives. But they can't live a Scylla ult. And,
Scylla ult's just OP.
Landon, I don't know if you knew this, but did you know that one Scylla ult can change a game? So I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we just watched that.
Like,
Pretty sure we just watched one Scylla ult change the game.
can you just ban the Scylla ult? You don't even have to ban the rest of the character, just that one particular
All
part
right,
of
so
it.
for the rest of the Gauntlet, Scylla's gonna get banned. I'm calling it right now.
At least
calling
ban it away
right
from
now.
Happy.
Scylla's gonna get banned. They're gonna
It's-
like first
yeah.
ban. I'm willing to bet.
He's gonna go home.
My
Well, not
God,
home. He's already home.
that was a great game.
He's gonna get on Twitch or YouTube, whatever the VOD's on, and be so happy with his plays. He's gonna watch them back. He's gonna get like some video clip on the page, likely. He's gonna get something on
Yeah,
his refrigerator, like a picture of his pentakill. Just put it there.